Hi everyone, this is Nicholas. Today we're reviewing the Asus ROG Strix Scope RX mechanical keyboard. So before we begin with the actual review, I believe this is what you guys are looking forward to, so go ahead and enjoy. So the Scope RX starts at 450 Malaysian ringgit and it roughly translates to around $100 US. Now it may sound a little bit expensive, but do keep in mind that typically mechanical keyboards are able to last you for a couple of years. So definitely think long term and choose the appropriate keyboard depending on the work that you do. Now the Scope RX is a full-size keyboard with the number pad as well. If you have a big desk that can accommodate for it, then I would definitely recommend going with this. It has an alloy top cover and the overall build of the Scope RX is very sturdy and it has a good weight to it as well. So what you're seeing here is ROG's in-house RX Red linear switches. It is an optical switch with 4mm of travel distance and it has the hollow square stem design. Now if you're not familiar with red mechanical switches, typically it's aimed towards gamers who want to achieve a lower latency and a faster response when it comes to gaming. So this keyboard here has 1 millisecond of response time and it has got to be one of the lowest compared to other mechanical keyboards. If you're a typist or even a coder and you like that tactile kind of feeling, I would recommend that you opt for blue or brown switches. So typically if you want a faster response, then you would go with the red switches instead. Now interestingly enough, the Scope RX is rated IP56 water and dust resistance, which means that fingers crossed, if you do tend to pour any sort of liquids into the keyboard itself, it should be able to survive and should function still. But as a rule of thumb, no liquids should come close to any of your peripherals in the first place. So next I want to talk about the RGB component of the Scope RX. Now there are tons and tons of different lighting modes that you can cycle through. Whatever you think of, they have it all packed here in the Scope RX. The RGB itself is per key and the lighting is actually in the central. So whatever illuminations throughout the entire keycaps are actually lighted very evenly. If you're currently running an RGB setup, you can also synchronize the keyboard's RGB using Asus or a Sync. There's a USB 2.0 pass-through at the back of the keyboard, so it's very handy if you want to charge maybe some of your electronic devices or even acting as an external storage. So in terms of the keyboard function, it's very common, so such as the Windows lock, and of course you have all your media control keys. You can also set 5 different individual profiles for your macro keys depending on whichever game that you're currently playing. Now one thing I want to quickly discuss is that I don't think I've ever seen this on a keyboard before, but this is what they call a stealth key. Now before I actually review what it does, I would like you to comment below. Tell me what you think this button does. Now I don't know what kind of scenario that you would be in, probably if you might have something sensitive going on the display, or maybe something that you don't want people to actually look at. If you're on Windows, it acts very similarly by clicking on the bottom right side of the screen, whereby it minimizes all your tabs and stuff, but this one adds an extra step where it will cut off whatever audio that is playing as well. Now for gamers who focuses on first-person shooters, I believe the bottom left control key is very important when it comes to crouching. So this keyboard in particular, they have enlarged the bottom left control keycap. With this, I think it will be impossible to miss the keycap, so no excuses for not crouching. So in conclusion, I've thoroughly tested out the ROG Strix Scope RX and I've got to say that this is a very strong and solid contender if you're in the market looking for a linear optical red switches mechanical keyboard. Now considering that it's an ROG, it's a pretty solid product overall. With its bells and whistles, if you're thinking long term, I personally think that the price point of where it is right now is quite fairly reasonable. My only little tip for you guys is because this is a full-size keyboard, if you're using a small or medium desk, this may not be such a good idea because it will give off this impression that your workspace is cramped up and there's not a lot of space left, to be honest. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and also click the little notification bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm Nicholas, and I'll see you guys in the next one.